Are you the woman that you've always wanted to be? When you look in the mirror, do you have a sense of appreciation for the eyes that are looking back at you? Or are you thinking, I don't know how I got here. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what my life is supposed to be like. Are you feeling aligned or are you feeling misaligned? Are you feeling comfortable in your own skin or are you feeling completely ill at ease with who you are? In this video, I'm going to share with you 7 steps that will help you to blossom into the woman that you are meant to be, the woman that is there inside and waiting to emerge. I know this because I've been there. I was completely asleep in my life. I was married once upon a time. And I realized at some point in the marriage that I couldn't be the woman that I needed to be if I stayed in the relationship. And that's not what I'm advocating. I'm not advocating that you leave a particular situation unless you feel guided to do it. What I am advocating is that you begin to wake up to yourself. So we filed for divorce in July 2014. I'm not going to give you all the gory details, but we filed for divorce and it was very painful, as you can imagine. And so after a few months, I moved in with my parents who lived down the street. So it was about October when I moved in with mom and dad. And my mom is my best friend. I mean, we would talk 3 times a day. And so right about November, or it was not about November, in November, she had an accident and she died suddenly. And so we're going through divorce. I'm losing my family. You know, nobody gets married thinking that they're going to get divorced. And my kids lost their grandmother. I lost my mother. I lost my best friend. I mean, everything started to, it imploded. And fast forward a few years, right? Fast forward a few years, and I'm at this networking event, and I'm in the restroom freshening up, and I see myself, you know, in the mirror, and I thought, there she is. That's the woman I have always wanted to be. So how do you get from, I don't even know where I am, to this is the person I am meant to be. This is the life I am meant to live. This is how I am supposed to feel in my body. Well, it's a journey, right? But I'm going to condense it for you. You ready? Take a deep breath. Sigh it out, because this is going to be some good stuff, I promise. So when I was younger, it was probably about 20 years ago or more, I was in a surprise, miserable situation, hated my job, hated the person I was living with, hated myself, the whole thing. And I was a sales rep for a cookie company. And we would go into the grocery stores and blah, blah, blah. So I walk into the grocery store and there's this woman, and I'm sure I looked crazy. I had no makeup on and my hair was sticking straight up because my boyfriend and I had gotten in a big argument the night before. I didn't marry him. This was another boyfriend. And she looks at me. There's this woman in the bread aisle stocking the bread. And she looks at me and she says, I'm going to teach you how to meditate. And I didn't even know that that was the thing that I needed and wanted until she said it. And so I started working with her. Her name is Linda. I started working with her and she taught me meditation, but not just any old meditation. She taught me an esoteric form of meditation where you focused on the chakras or energy centers. Now, if you know something about the chakras, most of you have been told, maybe you've been told that there are 7 chakras, but there are 10 that we worked with, 10 main chakras. If you don't know what chakras are energy centers in the body, and they take in universal life force energy and they move universal life force energy out, and they help you to awaken to yourself when you meditate on them. And so as we went on this journey of meditation, I could really see the negativity I was living in. I mean, it was palpable. It looked like, in my mind's eye, just this really dark energy on the floor all around us. So I left that relationship and I left the job. I got a new job, and for the first time in my life, I lived on my own, which was fabulous. And I studied with Linda. The second thing that Linda told me, so that was number one. Number one is meditation. The second thing that she taught me was about watching my thoughts, but not like in mindfulness meditation where you're told to watch your thoughts. It was more about watching your language. So number 2 is language. Listen to how you speak to yourself and about yourself. This is revolutionary because most of us say really horrible things to ourselves and about ourselves. We put ourselves down. We say things like, you're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid, what's wrong with you? You should be doing better, you should be doing this. And so when she told me to listen to my thoughts and I tuned into it, I realized that I was saying things to myself and about myself that I wouldn't even say to my worst enemy. And so that was the other thing that began this shift, right? And here's the third thing, and this is number 3 and number 4 are super important. These are the things that I want you to hang on for. So one day I'm at Linda's apartment and I'm watching her, I'm cooking for her, cooking for us. That's how I would give back is, I didn't have a lot of money. And so I would make us dinner or take us out to dinner when I could. And she's sitting in her rocking chair reading a book. And I could feel this love of spirit that she had. It wasn't just a love, I love life, or just joyful. It was an intimate connection with source. She called it God. You can call it God, you can call it spirit, you can call it divine presence, whatever you want. But it was an intimate relationship with that force. And I realized that that's what I was missing. So number 3 is connection. If you do not have a connection with life, with source, with the divine, with God, with whatever you want to call it, you will run out of willpower. You will always feel like you're doing it on your own, and the miracles that the universe has for you will pass you by. It is through this intimate connection that life really begins to have meaning. But that's not all. But I do want to tell you that in that connection is what sustained me through the divorce. It sustained me through my mother's death. It sustained me through the dating. That's a whole other video talking about dating. It sustained me through that journey to becoming the woman that I was fighting to be. Yes? Take a deep breath. Sigh it out. Yes. So number 4 is the thing that I was really missing in my life. Even though I had this connection, I was doing meditation and I was watching my thoughts and things were pretty good. How did I get so lost? Well, number 4 is self-love. I did not master the self-love thing until later. And I still was fighting with myself. I remember looking at pictures of myself from when I was younger and just remembering, how miserable I was in my own skin. I didn't feel good about me, about being Krista. I didn't feel good about that. And so number 3 and number 4, your connection with your source, but your connection to yourself and self-love, they work together. Spirit can only do for you what it can do through you. The more you love yourself, because the love, right? The love is the divine in you. So it's all working together. It's all that unity. And I know you know what I'm talking about. Self-love really and connection is the answer. But how do you get self-love? Nobody really said, you got to love yourself. Okay. What does that mean? Do I love my hair? Do I love my eyes? What is the self and what is this self-love thing? It just is so big. Well, I'm going to tell you. So how you begin to develop self-love is through vision. So that's number 5. You've got to have a vision of the woman that you want to be, or the thing even that you want to create in your life. Maybe it's a business. I don't know. Maybe it's going on a vacation or buying a home. But you have a vision of something. And I know you have a vision because somebody's going to say, Krista, I don't have a vision. I don't even know what I want. The fact that you know that you are uneasy, the fact that you know that you're lost, that part that is like, I'm lost, that's where the vision is. That's where it is. You have it. I know you have it. Everyone has it. The divine did not put you here to leave you here without that vision. You have been given to, and you've just moved away from it in consciousness. And so going through all of the divorce and, and living without my mother, and wanting to build a new life, not needing to, but wanting this, being hungry for this new life, I had a vision. Not like a whole vision, but a vision of what that life looked like. And I believe that vision was planted there by the divine. I know it was. And so that vision, that's number 5. Number 6 is courage. So take a deep breath. I know it's a lot, but we're getting to it and sigh it out. So the courage to step into the vision, to take one step towards it, you have to have courage. Now, in the vision and in taking that first step, that's where the self-love begins, because that's where you're building self-appreciation. That's where you're going to fail sometimes, and you're going to pick yourself right back up. That's where you become the hero in your own story. And here's the other reason why vision and courage are so important. The vision that you have to be equal to it. Yes? So you have to be equal to the vision that the divine has given you. And that also spurs this sense of self-love and self-confidence. Yes, it's scary, but take one step at a time. And because you are connected, you are not alone. So here's the next step. Number 7 is community. Thank God for my friends. Thank God for my family. Thank God for my spiritual mentors that I had, because oftentimes how the divine shows up for us is through other people. And so we don't try and do all of this all alone on our own. We need a community. So meditation, language, connection, self-love, vision, courage, and what did I say? Courage and community, right? You need all 7 of those things. So what's next? Well, I'd like to invite you to join me in a spiritual mentorship program where this is what we do. This is all about you being the woman that you are meant to be, the spiritual person that you are meant to be. It is about you feeling confident in your own skin. It is about you learning how to be so aligned with your source that when you speak your word, mountains move. That's what the spiritual mentorship is about. All you have to do is click the link in the description. So click the link and check it out. I'm offering a week free, and there's all kinds of beautiful goodies in there. I want you to read about it. But join me for a week in the spiritual mentorship program. Join me in this community. Have the courage to take the first step towards living your highest good. There's no more time to waste. So that's it. Namaste.